Hey guys, this is a quick update, or not update, a recap on the day. So I'm going to show you a couple of things today. So I did trade today using MNQ only, and I did 4 contracts, 2 at 10 and then 2 at 20 with a stop at 30 and then a break even from 10. So it went alright, so not too bad. Made 59, so I think I was at 58 before, so I made about $50 today, which is actually not too bad. I think I'm gonna just take it slow. So really the problem between MNQ and NQ is just the commissions and scale. Like if MNQ was really that kind of scaling factor into NQ, right, this would not even be an issue, right? But really the issue is the commissions, and like it really does add up. Let's just say, like, you are in your trade, right, and it is maybe slightly positive, slightly negative, but you really kind of want to get out of it. Getting up, that's actually a big part of the day, because that commissions relative to your possible gains is just going to be very difficult. So that is why I think it's this is not going to be as smooth as a process as possible, if that makes sense. And the other thing is, yeah. So that's pretty much it. I just want to kind of so now I'm at 100. So I made 100 of the 2600 I need to make. So I think I'm just gonna stay with this. I'm not sure what the plan is in terms of scaling, but I think this is a shortened week. So I think for the rest of the week, I'm really just gonna stay at this level at 4 contracts with MNQ. I really do like the 10 take profit, and then that will break even the other target. I think that really does work well. Obviously, it works better with NQ since you don't have to deal with the commission problem. But for now, I think this is decent. The other thing is, this is Tasty Trade, and it actually does. What I do is basically this. So I go always on top, and then I take my MNQ chart. So now I have auto hotkeys, and with my auto hotkeys, I can press buy and sell. And this is like, once I remove the safety, this is basically, it triggers automatically. So I made $1.50 on that after finished trading trading my actual PA account. Just to kind of diversify what I'm doing. So I'm actually trading SPY instead of QQQ for the practice. And the reason why is just the spreads are better. QQQ in a fast moving environment, the spreads can be not that great. So it's just, and they are pretty much correlated anyway. So and yeah, and I think it works better this way. But yeah, so that's the update. Up 59 on the day with MNQ. I think I had like 1 full trade and then 2 smaller trades or something like that. Or yeah, I exited one of them too. So 1 full trade, 1 half trade, and then 1 1.5 trade was pretty much what I did. So yeah, so that's it. I'm not gonna trade for the rest of the day. The market is actually, so the market has been very slow, and actually it's worked in my advantage, because the absorptions and everything, all the microstructures of the market is much more impactful, I think, in a really slow market. If the market's really quick and it's just making big moves like all the time, I think you get a lot more false positives, but then you get a lot more full trades as well. But in my opinion, it's just pretty good. I mean, it is kind of slow. I think the next thing what I really need to do is I kind of need to figure out my setup. So this is on a laptop, and I have a main desktop. So the problem with Polarity and Analytica Chart 4 is that there's only one. I only have one license at the moment, so I can't put it on two computers. So what I'm doing is I'm turning my head a little bit to trade in the morning. And it'll just be better if it's on my main screen. There's more to see there, and I can also look at my right screen. So I might do something there. I think what I really need to do is have a I don't want to do this. So the other problem is that I still want to run test automated strategies with AC4 Plus or with Analytica Chart 4. Sorry, with Polarity, and that requires like a clicker. So the problem is that when it's running, you can't use your computer because it's clicking on stuff. In case the arm button goes off. So I guess the only solution is really to have a switch to switch the main monitor between my desktop and my laptop, which is also a problem because I don't think they have the same ports. Yeah, so this is kind of I guess it's not that big of a deal. I can always just trade on the laptop, turning my head a little bit, but it'll just be much easier, especially when if and when this starts rolling a little bit heavier. You kind of really want to be focused on one screen and not divert yourself between two screens. That's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. And you divert yourself because obviously you're not trading all the time. You want to look at things and not get bored. But wow, I'm at 0 deltas. That's interesting. I'm at 0 deltas. But anyway, so that's the update. I'm pretty happy with the trading I did today. I did, I didn't cut trades as much as possible. Kind of working on it. Yeah, so I think I did good progress today. Yeah, so that's the update. So now I'm going to run more simulations on the Polarity Auto Trader. And I think one of the things that okay, so really I think there's a lot of gripe on Polarity, and I think it's warranted because so the way Polarity works at its core level is just looking for imbalances, right? And I look for imbalances too when I trade with Absorption. But the thing is that when Polarity sees an imbalance, it doesn't know if it's an absorption or if it's if it's not being absorbed, or it's active, or it's continuing to go in the trend. So there's no way. So here when I trade Absorption, I can, what happens, let's just say this red, let's just say this 120 is down here is a Absorption, right? There's it's an imbalance to the downside. If it goes back up, right, that means that it's being absorbed. But when Polarity encounters that, it has no idea because it's at this level. It hasn't reacted. So like this, for example, the 70, it hasn't reacted. So here, obviously, it's not absorption because it went beyond this level, right? So it's not being absorbed. That being said, now it's being absorbed. But so that's kind of really one of the issues with Polarity is that you don't know if it's absorption until it has reacted to that balance. And I think that's where when Connor does his model, it's very interesting or difficult to mimic because he's determining beforehand if that imbalance is going to be absorption or not. And it's a little bit different from kind of a very black and white perspective of footprint trading, if that makes sense. So it's reacting in real time. For example, here, the what are you gonna do? So this is not absorption. Okay, let's say maybe we'll have a trade. Let's see, but I'm not gonna use the hotkeys obviously. But if there is, so here number one, I don't really want to trade this because it's, well, I mean it's not bad. Well, let's just see what if it gets to the bottom of this range, right? And you see absorption, and there's absorption, then maybe. Anyway, so here this is not absorption. This is possibly absorption. Okay, the problem is that it's not in this swing, so it's hard for me to actually. I could have entered it, so that also this is the other problem with this type of trading too, because these are 1 minute candles, and I'm entering. So this is if this was part of this candle, it will definitely mark that as absorption, which it probably is, but it's not doing that now, and so yeah, that could have been a win right there, but yeah. So when it comes down here, it doesn't know, like here, this is not absorption, this is not absorption, this is absorption, right? And in real time, you think about the Polarity or whatever bot is looking at that, it can't tell what it is. And that's really where, kind of like the alpha or the, the real situation, or not situation, the real analysis or the real, traders come in, is deciding, like, if this is going to be regression or a trend. It's hard to tell, right? But anyway, so that's my rant on that. So yeah, I think I do need to fix a few things to do a couple more chores. But yeah, so I think I'm happy with today. I think I did pretty well. Did decent. The rest of the week, I'm just gonna do 4. It's because my target's around $70. So today, didn't quite hit it. I was at 59, right? So I think the rest of this week, which we only have 2 more days, right? It's gonna be the same. This is gonna, put it on. Well, 4 contracts, and then next week, maybe we'll move up to 6 contracts instead, so 3 and 3, and then instead of 70, we'll aim for maybe like 80 to 90 or something like that instead, and then we'll keep moving up until we actually get closer towards the full MQ, and that's when it's really going to pick up, because then I don't have to worry about commissions as much, getting out of trades that that's kind of turns against me. Also, the other really benefit about trading just the SPY, right, or just with Tasty here, is there's no commissions. So I can make $1.50 on 10 shares, and it's not part of, like, I can do that. I can scale up pretty easily, if that makes sense.